Okay, so good day class. So this will be the last part for our geo, or for the maybe the part 1 of our Earth and Life Science online discussion. So as you can see mga guro, or as you know sa ating second video, wala akong gindala ang Earth as part or sa discussion with regards sa planets sa ating solar system, because we will have a more detailed discussion regarding sa ating Earth and also sa iyang motion. So, the shape of the Earth. Okay, most of the theories and the hypotheses regarding the origin of the Earth agree that hot gases that formed and then it was cooled down, condensed and solidified into its present form. Ancient people tried to figure out the shape and the size of the Earth. At first, they thought that the Earth was flat, or mga flat earthers. Then, people's knowledge in the early times were limited only to what they saw, which was as far as their sights could reach. The Earth seems to be flat para sa ila. Okay, at Aristotle time, okay, Aristotle observed that the round shadow cast by the Earth on the Moon during the lunar eclipse was round. Therefore, Sir Isaac Newton claimed that because of the Earth's rotated matter from the poles were thrown to the equator. This caused the equator to bulge and the poles to flatten. The Earth was thus believed to be an obligate spheroid. The orbits of or sa pag-orbit sa sa aton nga Russian Sputnik 1 and 2, and also for the American Vanguard 2 and 3, showed that the Earth is a pear shape. Analysis of this orbit showed that the bulge is greatest along the circle slightly below the equator. We know that Earth is round on nearly so. The photograph of the Earth taken from the rocket, satellites, and other spacecraft far above the surface shows distinct the curvatures of our planet. Before this evidence became available, we could infer the roundness of the Earth from certain facts. It was known, for example, that the hull of the lowest part of the departing ship disappears first. Then the mass of the highest part disappears at last. Okay, the Earth was not perfect sphere. Technically speaking, it is an oblate spheroid, or shape, or flattened nga sphere. This shape is probably caused by our planet's force of rotation. Recent measurement also indicates that the Earth is slightly more flattened on the south pole on the North Pole, which makes it slightly spear-shaped. Now, for our Earth's data, or yung physical data, we did the circumference of the Earth set at 40,092 kilometers. The equatorial diameter is about 12,756.8 kilometers, and the polar diameter is computed to be 12,713.8 kilometers. So, hindi lang pag-mind gid ang uh, exact number, but pwede nyo lang daw i-round off into thousands or sa hundreds. Okay, so around sa roughly 2,700 kilometers for sa equator diameter, and kung pababaw naman, which is also roughly around 12,700. Okay, to find the density of the Earth, we divide the mass in grams by the volume in cubic centimeter. The volume of the Earth is around 1,833,000 cubic centimeters. If we divide it by 5.98 times 10 raised to 27 by 1.083 times 10 raised to 27, we could get about 5.5 as the figure of the density of the Earth if we mix together with the air, water, rock of our planets. The mixture would weigh about 5.5 more times than the same quantity of our water. The Earth's surface area is about okay, so sa next page, medyo perfect mag-picture si sir nyo. So, yeah. So, wala. So, skip na lang na. Okay, so importante for is aton ng physical data is the circumference. Okay, then equatorial diameter, so roughly around 12,800, then 12,700. Okay. So damo lang ng importante nga numbers for that matter. Then for your temperature naman yakas, okay, is usually ang temperature yung gina-record sa other countries, hindi direct sa aton nga sa aton sa Asia. Okay, so skip na lang na dito nang puga sa quiz or sa inyo nga final exam. Next is the motions of the earth. Okay, so you have rotation and your revolution. Okay, so in short, imong rotation is ang pagtiyog sa earth sa iya mismo. Okay, so you have here the earth rotates on its axis from from west to east, then or counterclockwise ang iyang motion once every 23 hours and 56 minutes. Okay, so dugin na round off na lang into 24 hours. Therefore, you can rotate in a day. At equator, the rate of rotation is 1,664 kilometers per hour or 4,000 kilometers per day. The rotation of the Earth results in the alteration of day and night. So, ang pagtiyog. Okay, then, ang length ng day, okay, hindi na lang ang pag-discuss, hindi na padalman. Importante ang rotation. Okay, the numbers nga ra day. Okay, so, ang exact number, okay, then, ang rate of rotation. Okay, this is kilometers per hour class. So, for example na lang in your day, you have 24 hours. So, times mo lang siya into 24. Then, sa mo revolution. Revolution is ang pag-revolve sa orbit. Yeah. Okay, so Earth goes ng the Sun in elliptical or oval orbit from west to east. Maghihapon, it takes around 665 days. Okay, or 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds. Next is ang travel point orbit ng average speed of 105,600,000 kilometers per hour. Okay, then you have mga phases sa aton nga Earth. Okay, the phases is kung diin na siya dampi, okay, sa in relation sa Sun as the center. So you have here, first you have your perihelion. Okay, sa January 1, the Sun is nearest sa Earth. Next is your aphelion. Okay, so it is the farthest. Okay, aphelion, ang farthest during July 1. Then perihelion, which is the nearest. Okay, as the period of revolution is 1/4 a day more than 365 days every 4 years. In addition, is due to added a year with 366 days called your leap year. So, diri ang dadugang ka months sa imo nga February. Next is your season. Okay, sa seasons ng Earth, you have your 4 season. You have your fall. Next, your winter. You have your spring, then your summer. Okay, so periods are characterized in general by certain means of temperature. You have this called your season. Okay, you have 4 season, spring, summer, autumn, or fall. Then you have your winter. 4 points at the two, or the two solstices. Divide in the ecliptic, the apparent path of the sun into 90 degrees sections, and the period occupied by the sun covering one of these sections known as your season. Okay, so first ato nga i-discuss is your spring. Okay. Spring begins in the northern hemisphere. Okay. Or autumn in the southern. Okay, you have here. Okay, ang spring class usually is after malaya na mga tanom, okay, nag-wither, then ginanos ang snow, okay, dira nag-grow ang mga new or mag-sprout ang mga new nga plants. Okay, so muna ang spring. Hindi tayo ipagpadalman, when altitude is the sun is exactly at 0 degree angle, and the moment when it enters the sun, the vernal equinox. Okay, summer begins in the northern hemisphere. Dula na ko. Ito, northern hemisphere, winter in the southern, when the sun's longitude is around 90 degrees and is with no sun, the summer solstice. Autumns begin in northern hemisphere, spring in the southern, when the longitude is around 180 degrees. The sun passes through the autumn equinox. Winter begins in northern hemisphere, the summer in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so hindi ito na papadalman. Mas importante you know kung sa din nga parts sang or area ang imo nga Earth. Okay, for example, here. Di ba, nagambalta. If you have your summer here, okay, ang gaday kahit mismo sa sun area, okay, nag-start ang una nga summer, then dili ka pabilin pa lang ang or gaumpisa pa lang ang iyang spring or manog untat pa lang. Then nas tagapasaka diin ang fall, then padto naman sa winter. So may cycle lang na siya. Kaya sabihin, spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter, then winter to spring. So liwat-liwat lang na sila. Okay, so hindi na pagpadalman gid. So hindi makamudan geology gid nga major. So you have your causes of your season, you have your geographic causes and astronomical causes. Okay, first, what is geographical causes? Aton nga change ng season. Okay, the cause of the changes of your season may be expressed in the direct and remote. The direct cause of your as geographic is the variation in length of the daylight nga period at different times in the year. This makes summer days long and nights shorter. Okay, with the opposite effect in the winter. Ibig sabihin kung winter naman yung class, mas lawig ang nighttime kaysa sa daytime. Okay, variations or noon sun altitude with the time of the year. This refers to the fact that the middle latitude, the sun is near to the zenith, okay, in the summer than in winter, and a constant amount of your solar radiation concentrated in smaller area. Okay, you have your variation length, the path of the sun rays through at the atmosphere. This refers to the absorbed effect of the atmosphere. A low altitude, a great thickness, a low altitude sun gives a little heat and light because an unit cross section of your ray passes through a greater thickness in the atmosphere. Hindi na nagpadalman gid. Okay. Importante kuhaon ta lang ang mga importante. Okay, so you have your geographic causes. Okay, you have your A, B, and C. You have first variation due to sa length sa imong mga daytime or daytime kag nighttime na period. Letter B, second, you have your variation of noon sun altitude within the year. Okay, and then for the letter C naman, variation of length of the path of sun rays through the atmosphere or pagsulod or ang pagsulod sang sun rays sa aton nga atmosphere. Next is the astronomical cause. Okay, astronomical cause naman yung klase have your A, B, C, D, E, hasta sa F. Okay, so kauta lang ABC lang. Pero hindi ako matamaan. Okay, the remote cause of the change of your season astronomically involves 6 conditions. Okay, so kauta lang first 3. Okay, nearly during or the spherical Earth, then the parallel rays from the sun, and for letter C, the Earth's daily rotation on its axis. Okay, discuss na lang sa D. D is the Earth's annual revolution around the sun. E, inclination of the axis, and F, constancy of the inclination of the axis throughout the orbit. The tilting of the Earth's axis combined with the revolution constitutes the most important cause. Next is the standard time sa aton nga Earth. Then you have your locating places and probability and precision. So last nga parts na lang. Okay, sa standard time at noon, the sun is overhead or so ito nga, we are to set out watches by the sun time. Those set in Manila would be put ahead when goes eastward to Catanduanes and backward goes westward to Palawan. Confusion is avoided by adopting a standard time. This was agreed upon the nations in the year 1884. Ibig sabihin, dira na umpisa ang pag-set sa kada country sang ilang standard time para hindi talang-talang or mag-advance ang oras sa iban nga area at pero same lang sila gyapon nga country. The Earth was divided into 24 hours circle. Between 2 hour circles is a region called your time belt. Okay, the time belt are 15 degrees apart. Every place within the time belt has the set or same standard time. It is 1 hour earlier than the zone to the east of 1 hour and later sa mga zones nga ara sa west. The Philippines is fully in the same time belt, so every place in it has the same time. Countries that are wide may have different times. You have parehas sa ating USA. Okay? So, aside sa separated sila by state. Okay, so ang ilaman nga time zone dito for China, same ang gihapon. You have your mga provinces dito sa China. Okay, so different province kay different mga area kag ang ilang gina-cover. Therefore, different time zone. Okay. Okay, next is your locating places on Earth. Okay, on your map and globes, our lines runs vertically and your horizontally. The vertical lines that originate from North Pole to the South Pole is called your meridian or longitude. The meridian that passes through Greenwich, England is used as basis to counting them. Okay, and it's called your prime meridian or 0 degree longitude. All places between 0 to 180 degrees right to the prime meridian to this eastern hemisphere are places and all places between 0 to 180 degrees pero paadto naman sa left paadto sa western hemisphere are all meridians of longitudes meet at the north and south pole. Next is your parallel nga longitude because we talk about longitude na. Latitude is the horizontal on the map ang globe starting point sa imo nga equator or sa tunga sa aton nga planet Earth. Okay, this imaginary line runs east to west. Places above your equator are to the north, then below are in the south. Meridians of your longitude not only determines time but also within the parallel of your longitude, they help determine the exact location of any place in this Earth. Okay? Next is ang precision or ang paglocate. Okay, precision naman yung class, okay, besides rotating and revolving, the axis of the Earth also precises in if the Earth was perfect sphere. If axis would rotate in constant direction in space, the uneven gravitational pull on the Earth by the Sun and the Moon causes it to bulge at the equator. As a result, the Earth wobbles and it rotates on its axis or revolves around the Sun. The changes in direction of your axis rotation is called your precession. The rotation of the Earth is eastward, but the precession is westward. Okay, that present Earth's north axis points 1 degree away from the Polaris by the year 7500 AD. Your Alpha Cephei will serve as your North Star by the year 14,000 AD. Vega will become our North Star and at about 26,000 AD. Polaris will Polaris will again became our North Star. Okay, so previous lang din ng mga studies. Okay, so gintunan lang based sa ilang positioning. Okay, so amo nang purpose sa mga calculation in regard sa aton nga astronomy. So that would be all sa aton nga geoscience. So expect lang long quiz na lang ni in regard sa halin sa umpisa hasta sa pinaka dalong or sa pinaka-last ng agin topic. So that would be all class. So thank you for listening and Once again, I'm sorry for the late upload since nakorap gitanan ko nga files.